we're getting closer and closer towards the matches that are actually to play to make it out. So that is going to be exciting to see. This is one step removed from that. This is quarterfinals of the pool, and it will be Tachyon versus Stars, and two people who are from different states, different regions perhaps, but geographically pretty close, right? Stars from Georgia, Tachyon from northern Florida, up in like the Tallahassee, Jacksonville area, I'm pretty sure. Again, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in chat if I am, and even match up your chat engagement. Aside from that, game one will go to small battlefield. We get to see two characters that are not often seen, and due to that, people have differing opinions about them, right? We don't see a lot of Pikachu, but people always say this could still be one of the best characters in the game, like you said, Chopper. And Toon Link on the other side, people say, well, we don't ever see him, nobody plays him, and there's a reason he's not that good of a character, but he's still got some stuff.
Yeah, not only that, when you have young Link and regular Link, adult Link, if you will, on the roster as well, some people just prefer to use those instead of the Toon Link, but we do have faithful players actually trying to set up some situations onto this game. Now, Tachyon actually going very deep for that back air. We're seeing early percentage lead as we're seeing back air that time to cover the left side. Wall jumps for the Pikachu one more time and actually feeling pretty comfortable. That down smash should be it. Those confirms with nairs are going to be pivotal for Pikachu's offense, Kimona. If you can get those consistently, you're going to have a good time, and your opponent will have definitely a bad time.
And we have definitely seen a lot of that from Tachyon before. I mean, not the biggest combo-heavy Pikachu. A couple of others come to mind sometimes for that, but Tachyon still hits the basics, and that's what's important for Pikachu. Could see even more than just the basics right here. Back air's amazing DI. Coming out on the other side from Stars to actually get out of that. And again, we see just SDIing out of that forward air. And those multi-hits are just not having the desired effect on this Toon Link, who, I mean, now Stars working on making the way back. If you can get something like a bomb fair, bomb back air, something like that, a lot of things are opened up by that bomb, and that's exactly what Stars is going to be looking for.
Other things that Toon Link really like to do is just run up towards them, anticipate a roll, and just go for up smash to take away that stock. But Tachyon is giving him a run for his money right now. A good recognition on the tech by the Toon Link, but it's still in a precarious situation when it comes to disadvantage. 114% that time, he's just going to wait out the up special and use that sweet spot forward smash to take the second stock. So Tachyon looking clean.
Yeah, we definitely see a lot of that nervousness playing from behind, right? We see that right there from Stars even. The Pikachu's in the shield, and it's dwindling down. You've got an opportunity to set up for a shield break or a shield poke, but we also saw Stars just sticking in the shield, kind of afraid of what the Pikachu could do in return. 2-frame on the ledge with that forward tilt, or rather just hitting the ledge hang. Still not going to be enough to take the stock, and not the forward throw either. Takyon's survivability has been tantamount to his success thus far.
So far, so good, as you mentioned before, Kimona. 156%, not the percent that you really want a Pikachu actually surviving so long. Woo. Thunders are going to come out for 41%, so just racking up the damage this time. Tachyon really doesn't have any reason to do any type of approach or anything overzealous. Nevertheless, Toon Link actually managing to actually take one stock away. Let's see if he can actually use that momentum to his favor to try to make this comeback.
I mean, the one thing you got to do right now as a Toon Link player, even playing from this deficit, still got plenty of time on the clock. And like you were mentioning, Tachyon does not have a need to engage. Pikachu is really, really good at playing passively and forcing mistakes out of you, but you've also got a bevy of really good projectiles and ones that can set up into big combos for you as a Toon Link, and only barely just at the last second pulling out the right DI to avoid that Thunder. Stars on the last ropes for this game one.
Yeah, just using those fairs one more time, 116%, 60% rather, onto the Toon Link, and just baiting out the defensive option. Tachyon has been doing that consistently throughout the game. Just uses an empty hop, anticipates the Toon Link is going to throw out the dodge, and just uses dash attack. Enough of a high percent to actually take out that last stock, so Tachyon taking the first one.
I'm really impressed by Tachyon. I mean, just in recognizing the state of the game and being able to play around it, right, especially where the Toon Link is and playing around that positioning. Whenever the Toon Link gets to center stage and whenever Stars does finally fight back for that, Tachyon goes, all right, my options are either, you know, challenge him for that, potentially. I can't really do that because the sword is there and there are always projectiles that can be dangerous, or I can back up into the corner, I can toss out these Thunder Jolts, and potentially, if the Toon Link gets a little bit too aggressive, you've got the frame data as Pikachu to challenge him back for that.
Absolutely, and we're seeing it right now. Just going to all the characters, not making any switches this time. Going into game two, I believe Town and City was going to be the stage for this time around. Effectively, that is going to be it. So we're going to have platforms sometimes. Come on, a little bit of space, a little bit more space than what we had in the first game as well. So let's see if it's going to work to his favor.
Yeah, I mean, these kinds of transformations, when the platforms are available, are actually going to be really, really good for Tachyon. Again, because of that more passive playstyle that Pikachu can throw out, it's going to be really, really hard for Stars to catch up to that. But on the other side, if there are no platforms, now you have a much better opportunity to set up for those big confirms, such as things out of the bombs that, I mean, really Stars has been fishing for, and you need them as Toon Link, but Tachyon has not been in a position where the bombs are connecting. We've seen very few of them connect, and even fewer still lead into things that are actually going to take the stock, but on a flatter stage, you can condition your opponent a lot more effectively.
Yeah, with that said, though, just a 1% differential. We're seeing dash attack actually come out. The Boomerang actually being MVP for Stars, as we're seeing the up special actually racking up a little bit more damage onto the Fat Rat, as Kimona just so eloquently mentioned earlier. 80% now, and just like we mentioned, placing on the platforms this time around are actually paying a lot of dividends for the Toon Link, just because Pikachu doesn't really have anywhere to go except for when they go into the corners.
And a key part of that, right, is obviously that it's just going to come down to who has the lead. And right now, the Stars made sure to get the lead before this city transformation, where these platforms are a place that Pikachu, you can't really contest him because of those Thunder Jolts. But the patience from Stars in this game has been absolutely amazing. Has barely taken any damage in return, and Tachyon may need to kind of step on the gas pedal at this point, because this war of attrition's really, really working out for Stars.
Actually gutting for that confirm, as you mentioned, Kimona. Exactly what Tachyon needs is going for the fair onto the outside. When it comes to Pikachu and edge guarding, they are two sides of a same coin 100%, but now responding back with that up special. Differential of only 7% of extra credit. Now it's Pikachu's turn. Actually gets some more stuff going with two backers for 23.
And Tachyon missing an opportunity right there by throwing out that Thunder Jolt in a situation where that definitely could have caught an early tether and set up for a big edge guard. But if you played a little bit more fluid out there, might even be able to connect a forwarder on that Toon Link recovery. You're on the flat stage, though, could be a big combo for Tachyon. Missing that drag down at the high percent, but does keep stage control after.
68% onto the Toon Link, and I can't help but feel that Stars maybe got a little demotivated after having such a good lead at the beginning of the game. Tachyon just responding back with the edge guard situations back and forth, and now we're seeing a similar situation to what we saw in the first game. Tachyon doesn't really have any type of support when it comes to approaching. He doesn't need to. He's just going to throw out some Thunder Jolts, rack up some percents, and as soon as he knows Toon Link is going to commit, he's actually going to punish.
And he almost got big punish right there off of that bomb. We just saw Stars barely miss the confirm. Does keep the pressure on that side platform. Doesn't want the Pikachu retreating there. Knows that this is time to take advantage, and that is exactly why these bomb confirms have been the one thing Stars has been fishing for. It is so potent to Toon Link's game plan, and again, gets to play with the lead now.
Really good for his momentum. Stars' dash attack is not quite going to be enough. I believe one of Pikachu's best burst options for sure, just to get those KOs early, or at least just get advantage onto the stage, as we're seeing Stars this time just maintaining that pressure. So as soon as you mentioned that Tachyon needed to put the gas on the pedal, now Stars is actually responding back with his own offense.
Toon almost got a cheeky edge guard with that forward air too to even things up, and at 150, we see Stars still holding on strong and just not giving Tachyon solid openings. The chip doesn't mean anything, and it is more than chip for Stars right now. 71% on the Pikachu, and honestly, a confirm out of the bomb could do it, but we'll have to go down to that up throw first with a perfect pressure sequence by Tachyon.
Smart play on there too. Probably recognizing the shield was going to come up. Nevertheless, the grab onto the up throw, enough percentage recognition, but we're seeing the confirms one more time. Big difference from game 1 to game 2. These are actually connecting right now, Kimona.
And I think that that's exactly what we needed to see, right? It just wasn't, we weren't getting that damage output from Stars. It just wasn't giving us the sense that we were going to see the stocks get taken at the percentages where not only are the confirms available, but where you're not letting Pikachu start to run away from the game. But that game 2 on Town and City, where things were a little bit flatter, it was a lot easier for Stars to get a sense of where Tachyon was playing defensively, and I think especially did a really good job of not only predicting where Tachyon was going to throw out Thunder Jolts, but punishing him for it as well.
Yeah, doing a really good job this time, but it's going to be pretty difficult to actually run away from the Pikachu this time around, because we're going to Hollow Bastion, Kimona. And this is going to be a pretty good stage for Pikachu when it comes to complete aggression. So Tachyon really wants to put that gas on the pedal, as mentioned before.
Yeah, and the aggression is what I want to see because it's what got Tachyon back into that game too. We've seen a good amount of that passive play, but only when he had the lead. And a couple of times in that game in Town and City, he really started getting more aggressive and really started making Stars pay the price for not being ready for that crazy frame data from Pikachu. Now we're going to have to see on Hollow Bastion if Tachyon's going to be able to take advantage of that once again, or if Stars can run away with the momentum in this set. Looking good right off the bat.
Doing a really good job so far. 41% onto the Pikachu, actually trying to respond back with the dash attack up special. Gonna send him right onto the right side and just resetting once again. Now Tachyon actually trying to get some offense in with the Thunder Jolts before actually going in this time. Getting a little too aggressive at the beginning of the match, but now Tachyon is actually trying to respond back as much as possible. And let's see what's gonna happen now as we see the offense actually going onto the platforms.
You can see, I mean, Tachyon's trying to acclimate to all of this. Just a little bit here and there. The spacing is just a couple of pixels away from getting a big punish that could lead to the stock. And that's what's tough about Pikachu. His hitboxes are not big, and you can't just generally toss them out and expect that if your opponent is at some point going to occupy that space, they're going to get hit. You have to be pretty precise with Pikachu. Tachyon's definitely been doing that here in this game 3, but nearly gets hit by a big confirm out of the corner.
116% onto the Toon Link now. Trying to camp out on the platform this time around and get something going. Boomerangs are going to connect, and just the offense in projectile games are actually trying to interrupt as much as possible. We're getting that confirmed one more time. It's been 3 in a row, Kimona, but now Tachyon responding back with that up smash.
I love that right there, getting aggressive and calling out that jump where a lot of people, when their opponent's invincible, coming off of that Angel platform, they like to jump to try to confuse them, force them to have to chase them, maybe burn that invincibility time, going deep with that up B, and Tachyon has to as well. We are right back to a dead even game at 2 stocks apiece, and honestly, we have not seen an absence of adaptation from either of these players.
Right you are, Kimona. Only about a 13% differential between the two. 2 stocks each. A game 3 that can determine life or death, because you do not want to go into this losers bracket 100%. And now we're seeing the combinations actually going in for Tachyon. Good recognition on the platform by Stars to actually roll out of the way. It's a good tech on him, but 65% now Tachyon is starting to cook.
And this is a percentage where Pikachu can start getting really dangerous, because a big read like that obviously can take the stock, but this is where you can also start setting up for something like a jab lock out of down tilt. You're not at too high a percent to be safe from that as a Toon Link. Maybe now as a couple of those Thunder Jolts connect, Tachyon's starting to, again, realize, okay, here's the state of the game. I've got that percentage lead. Maybe I can start playing a little bit more passively, just throw out these Thunder Jolts.
Yeah, the lead is definitely big enough for him to actually maintain maybe not a passive approach, but rather a more cautious approach. 113% now onto the Toon Link as we're seeing the edge guard situation one more time. Thunder Jolts, but again, conversions onto the bombs this time around. They need to be careful. 62%, sending them from left and right, up and down. But all you need is a couple of bomb drops and an up air for 96%. Gonna grab them this time. Not quite gonna be enough, but the next grab should be it if it's not stale enough.
Ooh, and the Thunder Jolt's putting a lot of pressure on Stars, and then immediately jumping off the ledge. Tachyon had that timing down pat. This is potentially Stars' last stock of the winner's bracket. If he can't make the comeback happen here, again, just needs one more bomb to connect to get that confirmed, but we have to see Stars stay patient. Can't get too aggressive or Tachyon's going to eat him alive, and nearly does.
107% now, bombs dropping everywhere. Bombs, boomerangs, arrows, oh my, back throw by Tachyon. Gets the coverage from the bomb. So really working as a tool to actually avoid that offense. Nevertheless, he needs one of those confirms, Kimona, like you were mentioning before. 122% is not a percent that you really want Pikachu surviving, as we're seeing the Sharking actually paying dividends for Tachyon.
Playing around the platform really, really well. Big whiff on that up B. I mean, we see Stars getting a little bit frustrated, trying to get back into this game with something to put it on last stock and make Tachyon play a little bit less confident, but he is looking all the more so. As these Thunder Jolts make up some space. Up B will not be enough to take the stock with Hollow Bastion's huge blast zones. Again, Florida's finest is staying alive.
Give him the 2 count right there, Kimona. 145% now. It's a little bit of a hill to climb for Stars as we're seeing once again projectiles being the name of the game for him. Not quite being able to do any type of approaches as Tachyon connects with forward tilts for 121, maintaining it. That is definitely going to be enough to kill with that up special. Once again, hill to climb for Stars as we're going into 2 minutes into the game.
At this point as Stars, you have to have faith that you're going to be able to clutch up near the end of the game as the timer ticks down, because Toon Link,
don't jump.
I was about to say, doesn't have the damage output to really make this comeback occur before the timer becomes a viable win condition for Tachyon. But as I say that, here it comes, 61% with a lot of rage. One big read could do it. Say the same about Tachyon. Up throws not enough to do it on Hollow Bastion.
Not quite enough. Backer is going to miss by Tachyon, who's trying to apply a lot more of the pressure. But as soon as he continues to go up close and personal, that should be it, though. Yes, does a really good job that time. A little bit of a scary situation that time, Kamona, however. Tachyon was actually trying to do the forces and forcing the situation while he was in advantage. Now, Stars was actually anticipating and just throwing the projectiles back and forth and racking up the damage up to 70+%. But eventually, you are going to get that grab, and that up throw is going to be enough to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, great play there by Tachyon. Again, knowing that if Stars plays way too passively, the timer becomes a win condition for him, so he decides to keep that defensive play going and knows once he starts getting to that 140, 150% range, a couple of, mistakes from Stars, I like that Tachyon didn't panic as his own percentage started to rise. Maybe you start getting to the point where